Friends, today we are going to start with poem number 5, A Roadside Stand, written by Robert Frost. Robert Frost was born in the year 1874 and is highly acclaimed as an American poet of the 20th century. Robert Frost wrote about characters, people and landscape. In his poem, A Roadside Stand, he gives out the picture, the realistic picture of the people, those who are living in the rural areas. Now, in this poem, he also talks about the people, those who are living in the village, how they are deprived from the comforts and the happiness which the people of city areas they enjoy, and how they are being given the false promises by the government and by the social workers, and just they give the illusion, just they live under the illusion of getting all the comforts and facilities, but they are deprived of all these things. So let us recite the poem and enjoy the explanation of this poem. A Roadside Stand is written by Robert Frost. Now, before I start with the explanation of this poem, I would like to ask you that have you ever stopped at a roadside stand? And if you have stopped at the roadside stand, what you have observed there? See, most probably all of us have stopped at a roadside stand, means at the edge of the road, and might be for any of the things to get ourselves refreshed, or for filling the petrol or any other, or just if we are tired, we just have a stop at the roadside. And by chance, when we are at the roadside stand, we observe the poor people. They are selling either the foodstuffs or the items for the daily use, or fruits, so that they can earn some currency, some cash, isn't it? So now just we'll recite this poem. The little house was out with a little new shed in front at the edge of the road where the traffic sped. A roadside stand that too pathetically pled, it would not be fair to save for a dole of bread, but for some of the money that cash who flows support. The flower of cities from sinking and withering faint. The police traffic passed with a mind ahead, or if ever aside a moment, then out of sorts, at having the landscape mad with the artless paint of signs that with an turned wrong and s turned wrong, offered for sale wild berries in wooden cots, or crook-necked golden squash with silver ruts, or beauty rest in a beautiful mountain sea. You have the money, but you want to be mean. Why keep your money and go along? The hurt to the scenery wouldn't be my complaint, so much as the trusting sorrow of what is unsaid. Here, far from the city, we make our roadside stand and ask for some city money to fill in hand, to try if it will not make our being expand and give us the life of the moving picture's promise that the party's power is said to be keeping from us. Now, in this stanza, the poet tells this: the little house was out with a new shed. Means the people, those who were living in the shed, means the hut, they had extended the little house in front, and that when they have extended house in the front, it had reached the edge of the road where the traffic was passing by. And the owner of this house, they were not begging for the bread, but they were selling the things so that the people, those who were passing by that road, they would buy something from their shed and they would give some currency to them, which the city people, they have plenty with them, and they could buy something which they really needed to improve their condition. But however, the owners, those who are passing by, they were mistaken. By these people, they mistake that these people, those who are standing over here, they are just spoiling the beauty of the mountain, the scenery of the mountain. And these people, they feel disgusted with the signboards which these people have, they had kept over there too for the symbol that they were selling over here. They felt the S and N, they had turned wrong. And at the stand, wild berries were sold in wooden cart. They all used unimpressive words like crookneck, golden squash with silver rods. And the place, they also offered a stay in the lap of the nature at a price. So in this stanza, the poet tells that the poor people, the people, those who are living in the rural area, they hope that they also could have a feel of currency which the people living in the city areas, they have plenty with them, and they can earn this currency, and so that they could improve their living standard. It is in the news that all these pitiful keen are to be bought out and mercifully gathered in, to live in villages next to the theatre and the store, where they won't have to think for themselves anymore, while greedy good doers, beneficent beasts of prey, swarm over their lives enforcing benefits that are calculated to soothe them out of their wits, and by teaching them how to sleep, they sleep all day, destroy their sleeping at night the ancient way. That means it was in the news, it is in the news that the people, they were to be, means they would be given all kind of facilities, all kind of comforts like theaters, shop, and many more false promises they were being given by the government, by the social workers. They were being told that they would also enjoy the facilities like the people in the cities. They appeared to be good doers, but in reality they were just exploiting these poor village people. They just gave them an illusion of security and better living standard, but actually they were harming them. And they were harming them how? By taking away their human rights and their lands. So in this way they were just destroying their sleep. Sleep means they were destroying their peace of mind. Because once a child is being shown a beautiful toy and is being promised that he will be given this toy, but after some time that toy is not being given to that child. Instead, it is just in front of the eye only that it is been taken away from him. You can imagine how that child would feel, isn't it? Same way, many kind of illusions they were given to these people about their security, about their comforts. Also, they were being promised that they would be living a better standard of that means their life, their standard of life will be improved. But everything is just a illusion, nothing is a reality. The next stanza, sometimes I feel myself I can hardly bear the thought of so much childish longing in vain, the sadness that lurks near the open window there, that waits all day in almost open prayer for the squeal of brakes, the sound of a stopping car, of all the thousand selfish cars that pass. Just one to inquire what a farmer's prices are. And one did stop, but only to plough up grass, in using the yard to back and turn around, and another to ask the way to where it was bound. Now the poet, he feels very miserable, he feels very helpless when he sees that these rural people, they were longing, means they were having a wish like a child What was their wish? To earn money, to get money. And he feels disturbed when he comes to know that the wish of these people, it's not going to be fulfilled. Now the owners of the stand keep their window open. Means the people, those who are living near the roadside, they have just kept their things outside to be sold. They kept their windows open so that they can see the people passing by the road. And they hoped and also prayed that the vehicle would stop at their doorstep and they would buy something from them, and this way they could earn some money. But unluckily, these people, those who were passing by, they just stopped there to use their backyard to reverse the car. Some of them just inquired the prices of the things, but they didn't purchase anything. Some of them, they just stopped there to ask the directions where they wanted to go, just to find out the way. And some of them, they stopped there and asked them whether they could get a gallon of gas, means a petrol, whatever they require. And so the owner of this house, those who were selling the things, they used to get angry that how can they sell gas? They were selling all the either the fruits or any other items, not the gas. So the condition of these villagers, it was very sad, because the people, those who were passing, that is the city people, they didn't show any kind of kindness, they didn't show any sympathy for this poor people. They just felt, and these people, the villagers, they felt that they were just left out, away by these people of this city. No, in country money, the country scale of gain, the requisite lift of spirit has never been found. Or so the voice, the great relief it would be to put these people at one stroke out of their pain. And the next day, as I come back into the scene, I wonder how I should like you to come to me. Now, in this stanza, the poet, he tells that he can understand the village people, that this he can understand that when we compare the city people with the villagers, how the city people, they are able to earn. Same way the villagers won't be, the people, those who are living in the rural areas, they won't be able to earn the money. And they were unable to get the required lift also in their lifetime. And so the poet, he feels that it would be a great relief. I can't help owning the great relief it would be to put these people at one stroke out of their pain. So the poet, he feels that it would be a great relief if the pain of these village people would be put off with one stroke. But again, he realizes that if the pain would be taken off with one stroke, then that would not be the right option. He wanted someone to gently remove the pain of seeing the agony of this rustic people. Understood? Now, actually, the poets, he tells us about the lack of the funds to lead a normal standard of life. The poor owners of the roadside stand, they have built it. They are longing for the passing city dwellers to stop and buy their berries and their squash. Actually, they were not begging, but they hoped that the city people, they would make purchases from their shed, and so that they could earn the currency, so that they could improve their living conditions. Now the city dwellers, they have monetary gains which need to be also had by the village people. Now the condition remains the same still. Why? Because the development of the village should not be at the cost of the villagers by exploiting them and uprooting them. The condition of the villagers can be improved, not by exploiting or by uprooting them, but they are also having the equal right like the city people to improve their living condition. The poet here in this poem, he is very angry. He gets angry at the heartless attitude of the government, at the social workers, and the good doers. But who? The greedy good doers. Those who appear to be very good to these people, but in real sense, in fact, they are exploiting them. They give them assurance of their security, of their better living standard, but actually they are harming them by taking away their human rights and by taking away their lands. And thus the economic well-being of the country will not be balanced, but it will be lopsided. Means it will the balance, it will be on one side only. It will be only in the favor of the rich people. So in order to make a balance, also the poor people, those who are living in the village, they should also be given equal right to earn. They should also be given the comforts which are being given to the people, those who are living in the city area. Hope you have understood this poem. Now we'll be meeting in the next session with the discussion of the figures of speech of this poem. Till then, goodbye.